ever stumbled upon something that changed your life forever? That's exactly what happened to Kwame, a young farmer who lived in a quiet village surrounded by lush forests and rolling hills. One day, while digging near the riverbank, his hoe struck something hard. He brushed away the soil and found a calabash. But this was no ordinary calabash. The moment he touched it, a voice echoed from within. "Ask, and you shall receive." Kwame's heart pounded. Was this some kind of trick, or had he truly found a magical gift? His mind raced with possibilities. Should he ask for riches, power, wisdom, or was there something even greater he had yet to consider? What would you do if you had one wish? Think carefully, because wishes are powerful things. Kwame stood there gripping the calabash, his heart hammering in his chest. He had worked tirelessly in the fields, struggling to make ends meet. So, without hesitation, he whispered, "I wish to be the richest man in the village." The calabash glowed faintly, and in an instant his small hut transformed into a grand house. His barren fields became golden with crops, and his once empty hands were filled with gold. The villagers gasped in awe. "How did this happen?" they whispered. But Kwame only smiled. He had everything he had ever wanted. Or did he? Ah, but when is enough truly enough? Kwame enjoyed his riches, but he noticed something. People still whispered behind his back. Some admired him, but others envied him. What good is wealth without power? He thought. And so one night he held the calabash close and wished, "Make me the most powerful man in the land." The ground trembled. Suddenly chiefs and elders sought his advice. Warriors bowed before him, and even the king himself invited him into the royal court. He was no longer just a farmer. He was a man of influence, but with power came something he had not expected. Fear. People no longer spoke to him as a friend. They only spoke in whispers, eyes filled with worry. Had he made the right choice? They say wisdom is the greatest gift of all, but can wisdom be granted, or must it be earned? Kwame, now both rich and powerful, felt something missing. Despite his grand house and influence, he felt alone. People obeyed him, but did they respect him? Did they love him? He turned to the calabash once more and whispered, "Give me the wisdom of the ancestors." At once his mind was flooded with knowledge, stories of old, secrets of the land, lessons of the past. He could now see through deception, understand the hidden truths behind words. But wisdom came with a price. He realized that his wishes had made him feared, not loved. His wealth had made him greedy. His power had made him ruthless. And now wisdom had shown him his own mistakes. Have you ever made a choice you wish you could undo? Kwame sat alone, reflecting on his life. The villagers who once smiled at him now avoided his gaze. Even his closest friends had drifted away. He had thought wealth would bring joy, power would bring respect, and wisdom would bring fulfillment. But instead, he had lost himself. One day, a young boy approached him. "Great Kwame," he said, "with all your wisdom, tell me, what is the most valuable thing in life?" Kwame opened his mouth to answer, but no words came. He realized he did not know. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is knowing when to let go. Kwame, burdened by his regrets, returned to the riverbank where it all began. He held the calabash in his hands one last time. "I have had everything," he whispered, "and yet I have nothing. What I truly want is to be the man I was before." The wind whispered through the trees, the calabash shimmered, and then everything faded. When Kwame opened his eyes, he was back in his small hut, his hands rough from farming once more. But this time he smiled. He had no gold, no power, no unnatural wisdom. But he had something greater: peace, love, and a second chance. And so, dear listener, we ask, what is the true meaning of wealth, of power, of wisdom? Kwame learned the hard way that fortune without purpose is empty, and power without kindness is dangerous. True wisdom comes not from wishing, but from learning, from growing, from understanding those around us. Now I ask you, if you had the calabash in your hands, what would you wish for, and would you be ready for the consequences? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more African folk tales full of wisdom, adventure, and life lessons.